Good evening, everybody. Welcome to World Comic Intellectual session on mental health and illness. Our tutor for today, our mentor is Mr. Stephen Adedira. Please let's welcome him warmly. Welcome, Mr. Stephen. We're happy to have you today.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, good evening. Good evening, everyone. I hope I'm audible. Good evening.
Yes, sir.
So yes, let's start. So today we are talking on mental health and illness. It's a very it's not that simple. It's a very simple topic. So to say. Sorry, I can't see your screen now.
Okay. What
Okay,
about
no, never mind. I'm in it. Yes, thank you. Sir.
what is it? What about
That's it.
now? Is it okay now?
But yes, it's okay. Thank you.
All
Sir.
right. Thank you.
So yes, we are talking on mental health and illness. Yes, can you go to the next slide now? Can you go to the next slide now?
I guess it's your network. Or is it mine? I'm
No,
on the
can
network.
you go to the next slide? You sure?
Can another person see the next slide, please? If you are talking, we cannot hear you. We cannot see the screen right now. Can another person see the screen?
No, we can see the screen, but you are still on the first slide.
Can you can you see the second slide now?
Nope.
Let me present again. I've been here since.
Okay, yes, I can see the second slide now.
It's
Yeah,
maybe your network, bro. Okay, it's
yeah.
okay.
Okay. So yes. So the World Health Organization
Yeah.
defines mental health as a state of well-being in which individuals realize their own abilities and can cope with normal stresses of life, can work productively and peacefully, and it's able to make a contribution to their community. So what this is trying to say is just this. If you can realize your own ability, if you can cope with normal stresses, some people cannot even cope with a single stress, a single anxiety. You get, for example, now, we have those that have issues with, they call this thing exam fever. Being and they are going through this anxiety phase. They are extremely stressed. You get so there are some certain people that cannot cope with the normal stress because the stress of exam is it's the anxiety that comes with it is extremely normal. But there are some people that cannot cope with things like that. You get so now WHO further states that in mental health is not just the absence of mental disorder. It is a state of complete
Sir,
mental,
your voice is fading in and
physical
out.
and oh wow. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me well?
You can ask any other person on the call because I can't
Hello.
see people on the call.
Oh wow.
Are they saying the same thing?
Sorry, are you seeing me?
Okay, continue,
No,
sir.
no, no one is saying the same.
Okay, please continue.
Okay, yes. So WHO for that. Yeah. Okay, someone else is saying you can really hear me. Can you hear me now?
Sir, please continue. We can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Hello.
it's more precise now.
Okay, yes. That's for mental for the well-being. Now, mental health is mainly holistic in nature. What do you mean of holistic? I'm very sure most of us are just hearing this for the first time. Holistic is just a is meant wholeness of health. You get wholeness, WHOLE, wholeness. You get wholeness of health. So now the next slide, man. The next slide. So in the next slide, are you the next slide now? So in the next slide, there's a diagram that is there. But I did not go to the next slide now. Hello,
Can
ma.
I, can any other person see the next slide on the screen, please?
Hello, ma. Next slide now.
If you are talking, I cannot see anybody reacting. It's better you talk so that I will know that you're talking. Can any other person see the next slide?
WHO definition of mental health.
Thank you. So can you see the screen now?
Yes, I can still see the screen, but it's just the second slide. Okay, yes, I can see the third slide now. Yes, the third slide. So now, looking at this diagram here, you can see the a way to improve your mental health, managing stress, staying active, social connection, meaning and purpose, brain, healthy diet, and quality sleep. So these are ways. These are ways to improve your mental health, mainly just managing stress, staying active. Yourself can actually increase the risk of mental illness if you don't know. Those of you that like doing lone ranger, lone ranger everything. If you don't have human connection with other people, you are most likely going to run mad over time. You get it is that simple. So in the next slide, okay, yes, one of these ways here, meaning and purpose. If you don't know if you don't know your meaning, you don't know what you are doing in this life, probability of you getting depressed is there. You get. So in the next slide, man. The next slide, man.
On the next slide already. Can any other person
The
see the
next
next?
slide.
Can any other person see the next slide?
Wow, wow. I can't see them.
Can they see the next slide?
I think we can move to the next slide. I don't see. We are still in the same slide
Okay.
that Stephen commented.
Yeah. So I'm ready on the next slide. Mental illness. Let's see. Hold on.
So as she's trying to reshare and the rest, let me just keep talking. Okay, now yes. So now you can see this diagram on the screen, this mental illness diagram. There's the reason why I put this there. Most of the people with mental illness, they don't know that they have issues of chest. You get. They don't know they have issues of chest. Some of them they so if you are experiencing any downside, the best thing to do is to open up to someone. Especially the depression side of mental illness. If you get. The best thing is so you can be sharing the next slide, man, as I'm talking. The best help on time because mental illness is something that can over time it can be disastrous. You get. Share the next slide so you get my point. It can be extremely disastrous, especially on the depressive side. Depression is something that is really crazy. You get. So the best thing to do is to open up to someone. So now let's go to the overview. The overview of mental illness. Mental illnesses. We've talked about mental health already. Now we are going to mental health disorder. That's mental illnesses. You get. So now the WHO defines mental illnesses as characterized by alteration in thinking, mood, or behavior function. That is alteration in thinking, the way we think. For example, now someone can just sit down and just start reasoning like they can just start reasoning like You can just pick two different topics that don't even relate and put it out of the sentence. They can it doesn't so that is a nutrition in thinking. For mood, they could be happy in the next 2 seconds. They are extremely mad. You get they can be extremely elated. You can in the next 2 minutes again, they can be so depressed. You get so that is the mood and behavior. Behavior, there's something we call manic behavior. Manic behavior has to do with a feeling of excitement. They don't feel so on top of the world at that moment. You get that is so the it can be categorized into two. That's mental health disorder. The first one is minor mental health disorders. The second one is the major mental health disorders. The next slide, man. So now the next slide, man. So now in the next slide, I'll be dealing with the minor mental health disorder. The next slide, man. The next slide, I'll be dealing with the minor mental health disorders. They are extremely different from the major mental. These ones, the next slide is the adjustment disorder, helping with specific stressor. For example, I explained the last time that if someone is writing exam, for example, now, if you are to write WAEC in the next few months, few weeks before the exam, you'll be experiencing a scope with these certain stressors you get. So now the next one is mild depression.
Male depression.
This mild depression can go and come,
Mad.
go and come, go and come. For example, now somebody failed an exam. Can you hear me? Someone failed an exam. The mood is a bit down, but to some individual, it could be more than the normal. You feel down, but this time around, for some certain individuals, it is called mild depression. They won't take it so lightly. You get my point. So that the number two is anxiety disorder. Anxiety disorder. The next one is mild substance use disorder. Mild substance use. Those of them that smoke colos, that smoke colos. Some people do it habitually in the way. Those ones that smoke colos and hard drugs, you get my point. So now health disorders. So I won't waste too much time on it. You can see down here, you can see sleep disorder in number 7. Sleep disorders. Insomnia. That sleep disorder is a minor mental health disorder. You get most of us have heard of insomnia before. You get so now let me the next slide. The next slide. So now the next slide, man.
Major mental disorders.
So now if you can see number 10, I put the mild trauma related disorders. Mild trauma. You can go to the next slide, man. Mild trauma related disorder. The next after this. So we are dealing with major mental disorders. The next after this, man. Major
Yeah.
mental
Can you
health
see it
disorder.
now?
So I think the first one I started with was yes, I can see. Go to the next one now. The next slide.
Yeah, I'm
I
here
can see.
already.
Yeah, I put in the next slide. I put a various major,
Depression,
and then next slide I put
panic
the major
disorder.
mental health disorder. I put depression, um, panic disorder. Yes, panic disorder.
Can
I
you see
think
the
I
slide
put
now?
there OCD. Is it there? OCD and mania and the rest. So the next slide, man. I can't see it. Not yet. So in that view now will be the first one. Yes, these are the disorders. We have the bipolar, we have dementia, we have phobia, we have schizophrenia, we have panic. The next slide now. We have depression. Okay, so are we taking these things one by one? We're dealing with these things one by one, and at the end of the day, you know the signs and symptoms of this thing, you can really help them to go by it. So the first one is depression. So now, depression by WHO is, your slide, I can't see your screen. Okay, I can see it too. So depression by WHO is a common mental disorder that presents with depressed mood, loss of interest or pleasure, feeling of guilt, or low self-worth, disturbed sleep or appetite, low energy, and poor connection. So these people now, they are, and they have these characteristics. The first one is depressed mood. They will be sad majority of the time they are. You get. So the next characteristic there is loss of interest and pleasure. Loss of interest. In fact, they will not even really be interested in their outfit anymore. Their hair, they would not shade it. They won't play it. They will just be looking at mirror. In fact, they will have no libido at that point. The opposite sex doesn't really trigger a bit of excitement. You get, you are just there. You are just there. So feeling of guilt or low self-worth. That feeling of guilt used to come, especially when they make mistakes. You get, especially when they make mistakes. So disturbed sleep or appetite is also one of the characteristics. Then low energy and poor connection. They will isolate themselves from people. It's not like as if they deliberately, but that is just one of the characteristics. They will isolate themselves from people. They will stay indoors most of the time before they realize they are actually the next slide now. The next slide. They will stay indoors most of the time. The next slide now. They will stay indoors. They will just dissociate themselves from people and they really can't be sometimes. You get. So now so now the next slide, I put here definition. Types are several, including seasonal, affective, and major depressive disorders. I will go deep into the types for now.
Can you see the next slide now?
So now the next thing on the slide there is signs and symptoms. I can see it, yes, I can see it. The next thing there is signs and symptoms. The first sign is behavioral. They poor attention, low motivation, low productivity. They will just be there. Like they are here, my point. So now emotional lack of interest. They don't have interest in anything. They are just there. I don't even know how to explain it. You see them looking like mushroom. They will just be there. Smile, they would not smile. Laugh, they would not laugh. They will just and they can some of the recurring speech that they do make maybe I'm tired or it is sue me. You get something, you get what I'm trying to say. Just some of them have
Yeah.
those type of speeches, all these negative type of speech. You get. So now for the physical, disrupted sleep, dysregulated eating, low energy, aches and pains. For the aches and pains, the reason why they have it because they don't move up and down. You get, they can just be sitting there for a very long period of time. So one way to actually help those people that are depressed is to engage them in activity. You get. So the next slide, now. The next slide now.
Yes,
So
I'm
you
ready.
all understood signs and symptoms of depression. You get. So now let's go to mania.
Can you see it
Mania.
now?
So now before I go to mania, just know that mania, yes, I can see the screen now. So mania is like the opposite of depression. If you get what I mean. For depression, they have low mood. They are just there. But for this one, now let me read through to you. Defines a manic episode as a distinct period of abnormal and persistently elevated mood. They put in bracket there euphoria or irritability and elevated mood.
For
That
irritability.
elevated, they can just be extremely would I happy or excited. For some of them laugh so much, they will just be feel so on top of it. They will be happy. They will most of them are extreme talkers. You get. They will never feel like eating. They will just be there. They just want to be talking, be gisting, be jumping up and down. You understand what I mean? There is just the exact opposite of depression. So one of the ways to even know those people that have mania is that if they laugh too much, you get my point. I think every single
Yeah.
human being has a bit of madness inside them. You get. So now for this mania, let me go to the next line, the next paragraph. Mania is a state of abnormal high energy, excitement, or irritability that lasts for a week and is characterized by symptoms like feeling extremely happy. You get feeling extremely happy and important. You get. So now let's go to signs of manic episode. Signs of manic episode. Number one, insomnia. The reason why they have
Can you see
insomnia,
it?
they always want to jump up and down. They always want to be happy and the rest. You get some some. You get. They just want to play ball. They just want to laugh. They just want to see. Yes, I can see the next. Yes, my consistency. So the next one is the you get. So they will not want to listen to other people. So the number three is spending beyond one needs. I'm very sure most of us do that sometimes. We don't need something we buy. So that's why I say some of us are mad. You get. So the next one is unrealistic overconfidence, such as delusions
Overconfidence.
of grandeur. Now, this delusion of grandeur is something that most of us don't understand. This is it. For example, if I just come and tell everybody that I am the president's son or I am the president himself. Meanwhile, I'm not the president himself. You get. They can just come and be like, I am Jesus Christ. For no, that is delusion of grandeur. So now for this unrealistic confidence, if you put it that way, it is just very simply just simply saying for example now you know you are not that intelligent, but without reading the unrealistic and saying you are good of oneself because of the fact that they're extremely overactive, hyperactive rather. They won't even have time to take care of themselves. So inability to focus. So now the next slide now, you can go to the next slide. You can go to the next slide now. So yes, ma,
Okay.
you can go to the next slide. So
Alright.
these are the signs of manic episode. So if you see people that are going through this illness, they are manic, they have mania rather. So now let's go to obsessive compulsive disorder. Compulsive disorder. So now OCD is defined as a mental disorder characterized by presence of obsession, recurrent, intrusive and distressing thoughts, images or urges and compulsion. So now this is OCD. Let me even explain it. Let me explain it. I say it's something that most people can really familiar with. Now this is OCD. For example, now I have been in university now and I am in my 400 level and throughout from 100 level to 400 level to my 300 level second semester, I have been having all A's. I have been having all A's and I don't want that record. So when I got into 400 level, I had it. So I just decided that no, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going to another school. Starting on board. That is OC. You get my point. For example, the I clean it up. This one is too dirty. That is OCD. This one is too dirty. That is OCD. So dirty that it becomes a mental disorder. That is OC. Well, when they are now putting here, they said there will be occurrence. If I just pick a brush and start cleaning a particular spot for a long time without stopping, I know that yes, that place is where I want to be clean. I'm just cleaning it. That is OCD. You get my point. So now the next slide now. The next slide now. So now they put there in the last place that compelled to try to make the thoughts go away. some most of them they know they have it. That. So they are trying to make that thought of this place must be clean, this place must be clean. They are trying to make that thought go away. They are really they don't like it to eat them. It's very open up to. So now these are the symptoms of compulsive disorder. The first one, I hope you are all seeing it, but let me continue. The first symptoms is counting, tapping on repeating specific words silently. Counting, tapping or repeating specific words silently. That is one symptom of OCD. The next one is fear of contamination, germs, or
James.
illness. Like I explained before, some of them are extremely clean, so to say, extremely clean, so clean to a fault. Like, so clean. They can't even allow a single strand of dead, like any strand of dead inside their room. They will, if you get into their room, they can ask you to shower before entering. They are that bad. So now constant with symmetry, orderliness, or exactness. Some people don't like a change in the environment of their room, for example. If they put it down, it must stay that way. It must stay that way for at least forever, according to them. So now the next one is intrusive sexual habits. Some of them are perverts. A lot of them, not even some, a whole lot of them that have OCD are perverts. You get. So now number five, excessive hand washing, cleaning or grooming. I think I explained that in number two. They are extremely clean, most of them. But you have some that could actually be extremely dirty. So now number six, arranging items or objects in a precise manner. I think I explained that just now. The next one is seeking reassurance from others. They need reassurance from others to be sure that they are perfect. They are perfect. You get. Most of them actually strive for perfection. That is what it is. Don't strive for perfection too much. So the next slide is the obsessive compulsive disorder. I'm very sure most of them are relatable. So now let's go to the Baba or what Baba. We have the schizophrenia. So now for the schizophrenia, the WHO defines schizophrenia as a chronic mental disorder characterized by disturbance of thought, perception, or an emotion. Now, let me explain this. Which example to that? Okay, for example, now the news is playing on the other side, and they are putting up people from the room. Immediately, the man going through this disturbance of thought can just get up and say they are talking about him in the TV. They are talking about him in TV, so he breaks the TV. That's a disturbance of thought. For example, now let me give another example. He can say there's a discussion going on his mind, and the mind wants him to do something that it doesn't want him to do. You get my point. So that is still disturbance of thought. So, I can't see your slide. Sorry.
You can't see my slide now. What about now? Hello? Hello?
Okay, I can. Yes, I can see your
Okay.
slide. Yes. I think I went.
I
Okay,
don't.
yes. Let me continue.
Okay.
So yes, let me. Okay, you said there it's characterized by hallucination. Can you hear me? Can we all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Can you hear me? So it is characterized by hallucinations. Hallucinations. Now, hallucination is hearing or seeing things that are not there. For example, now I was with someone a long time ago, and she just got up and started shouting. They are seeing things that are not believing that I am Jesus Christ and I rose up from the dead. It is delusion. You get my point. So it is extremely different from hallucination. There's another thing that I didn't include there, illusion. I didn't include illusion. Illusion is the false perception of reality. That is illusion. For example, now I see if somebody asks you the phone now, you can see the hair on the woman's head as snakes. You get my point? You can see the head on the woman's head as snake. So that is illusion, first perception of reality. So number three here is disorganized thinking and speech. Disorganized thinking and speech. So number four there is disorganized or abnormal motor behavior. Disorganized or abnormal motor. The way they even walk, they can walk. Nothing is wrong with their legs. Some of them, nothing. They just believe that their leg is not working so fine. So that is it. So the last one is negative. So ma, you can go to the next slide. So
Okay.
negative symptoms. Negative. So they lack such as apathy, lack of emotion, or social withdrawal. Negative symptoms. So for them, they actually one of the characteristics of most mental disorder, isolation. The more you isolate yourself, the more the damage. So now, these are the types of schizophrenia. We have the differentiated. You get. So now, for the paranoid, we have delusions of persecutions and grandeur. The second one, we have the catatonic, which is excitement. They are extremely excitement and super feeling. So we have the disorganized, we have the bizarre behavior, the written and the hallucination. So the undifferentiated, we have the symptoms that don't clearly fit one of the other. Okay, for example, okay, let me even give one of the symptoms that doesn't really fit this other. Man, I can't see your slide. I can't. Okay, yes, I've seen it. Here. Thank you so much. So now, this one of the symptoms we can have is how do I even explain it? This, for example, now a ball might be coming towards them. They think it's a rolling down dynamite. That is extremely. It's one of the symptoms that we can. So the next slide. The next slide. I think we are even coming to the end of this. The next slide now. The next slide now.
Can you
So
see
now we
me?
have bipolar disorder. Yes, we have the bipolar disorder. Okay, before I go through, yes, I can see it. Before I go through with it, this bipolar and mania is like so they can be at the time they can be extremely happy. At the time they can be extremely depressed. Okay, now let me continue with it. According to the WHO, bipolar disorder is a mood disorder can be mania. In a period of 1 hour, 30 minutes, they can be extremely happy. That in the next 30 minutes or 7 minutes, they can just something can just come, maybe a feeling of guilt, and all of a sudden they are depressed. And both of them are extreme. Both the mania and the depression, they are on the extreme phase. You get they extremely extreme. So the next slide now. With or without periods of normal mood in between. So there's no normal mood in between. The next slide now. The next slide now. So there's no normal mood in between. They are either depressed or they are feeling elated. They are extremely happy. So now this is the bipolar disorder, right? So for the manic, we have the onset from 18 to 30-year-old. Mood is elated, expansive, irritable. Speech is loud, rigid, plunging, pure judgment, etc. So for the depressive, we have the previous manic episode. Don't forget, he was first happy, he was first excited, extremely happy and the rest. So previous manic episodes, feeling of worthlessness, guilt, hopelessness, etc. etc. No, now the next slide. So you get, so it's like he's having both pieces. It's like collabo of mania and depression. You get two of them they all join together into one person and can be extremely opportune. So now we have the dementia is just mainly memory loss. The person can't remember anything for a long time. You get. So now dementia is just they brought up that describes a decline in cognition, problem solving, and other thinking ability. It is not a specific disease. Rather, it is rather it is a term that describes a range of symptoms. So the symptoms are just memory loss, communication difficulties. I even noticed that mainly the elderly actually have this dementia. It's mainly the elderly that have this dementia. It's not really common. We see downwards. You see them, they can't remember much. They are having communication difficulties, etc. etc. You get. The next slide, man. The next slide, man. So we have mood changes and we have personality changes. For that mood now, they can be depressed and at the same time they can have anxiety. The next slide, man. The next slide. The next slide, man. So now this is dementia, and these are the types. So we have the Alzheimer disease, we have the vascular dementia, you get. So these are all the types of dementia we have. I will not really go deep into the types of dementia. You get. It's not there's lots of time. But you understand what it's all about. It's just mainly memory loss. And their cognitive response and thinking will just reduce all of a sudden. You see them not being able to do literally babies. You get those elderly, you get they become babies all of a sudden, like mushrooms. They can't do anything. The next slide, man. The next slide. They can't do anything themselves. You get they just live there. We assist them for every single thing. The next slide, man. The next slide. So now I think this is the last one. We have the posthumous needs. You know, the word post means post. The word post means before, like a past something. Post traumatic. So a past trauma, a past trauma stress disorder. You get my point. You pass something that, for example, now from another maybe 8 years, 9 years, 10 years. Most of them might most likely have been 50 years. You get. Or those that have seen situations like war can actually cause this PTSD. You get. So now let me read through it. Feelings of fear, anxiety, horror after a traumatic event. So it's only after a traumatic event. You get. It's always after something bad has happened over time. You get. So making it hard for them to cope with everything, like it actually makes them hard. All of a sudden they can just have a flashback of it and they can lose it. You get my point. So now, these events are the first one is combat of war, the second natural disaster, sexual acts of abuse, and physical acts of abuse. You get. The next slide, now, the next slide, the next slide. Connected. So these are if somebody just has an issue of the past, you should be expecting PTSD. That's how most times we take some of us or some of these people to therapy. You get. The white do value therapy, really black them. We don't value it. So now causes of mental illness. I put there predisposing the first one. The second one is precipitation. So now predisposing is different from
Precipitating
precipitating
factors.
in what way? For predisposing, something you are predisposed to, something that are predisposed. For example, now one of the examples of this predisposing factor should be um, genetics. It could be genetics, or would, um, genetics could actually cause um, mental illnesses. The second one is precipitating factor. This precipitating factor could be so precipitating are environmental factors. predisposing are mainly genetic factor. So the next slide, now. The next slide. I think we are even about getting. We are almost done with this session. I think it remains like a slide. The next slide. Now. So most if you know someone that has been through some of these things, you should treat them with care. It is not easy. So now, most common causes of mental disorder, we have the genesis. Some people are prone to, for example, now their forefathers or let us say their parents. One of them have had mental disorder. It could actually be the person will stand the chance of getting it. If the person is not care, it will stand the chance of getting it. So now trauma and abuse. I don't think I even need to say much on trauma and abuse. If somebody has experienced abuse or trauma, the trauma could not only be abuse, the trauma could be something like accident. Eating stick on someone's head is actually trauma. You get. So now, environmental factors such as lead and mercury has been linked to the increased risk of developing mental illness. You get. So illnesses, chronic illnesses such as cancer and diabetes. Those with chronic illnesses such as diabetes and cancer are higher risk of developing depression and anxiety. I don't even the reason why they those with chronic illnesses could develop and depression is because at that point they feel it is over. For those that have cancer now, they develop depression over time because they know that there's no cure for it. They are going to die, and it's something that it's a mean of they are going to die. Most of them, but there are people that actually do survive before. It's something that crazy. So now substance abuse. Substance abuse often occur alongside mental illnesses because it appears experiencing a recurring mental health disorder. Those of them that take illicit drugs stand a chance of getting mental illnesses because illicit drugs like marijuana, heroin, cocaine, and the rest. Because so most of them stand a chance of getting mental health disorder. So stressful life events such as divorce, job loss, can trigger an onset of mental illness
Yeah, excuse me, sir.
in susceptible individuals. The next time, I think we are even there. Yes, ma'am.
It should be
Yes, ma'am.
fast because okay, I think we are already in, yes, so that we'll ask questions from people.
Yes, ma'am. We are done. So, any questions for me? Any questions for me? Is there any questions for me?
Okay, someone is
You
asking
can
a
ask your
question.
questions.
Mr. Damola Adebite, please write on.
Okay. Can you? Okay, yes, ma'am. You can ask one.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So, how can we differentiate between normal stress and mental health condition?
Yes, thank you so much for dispensing between normal and mental health conditions. So now, for mental health, for normal stress, it's on you can eventually cope with it. You still do the things you are supposed to do. For the normal stress, you will cope with it. It's just the coping mechanism that differentiates the normal stress and the mental health condition. You get so that's it. Are you getting? Did you get it?
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, and apart from that, so the normal stress is short term, it's very short. But for the mental health condition, it's long term. You get You understand? It's just that's those are the main differences you get. So that is all. Now
Yes.
the question. Is that all the questions?
Okay, yeah, so I have a question here. So, from everything we've learned today,
Okay.
how can we now prioritize self care and maintain good mental health?
So you're asking how we can maintain good mental health, Abby?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. First thing first, you need to protect. Abby, you need to be how will I even put this? You need to be emotionally strong because truthfully, we are all going through one thing or the other. You get, we are all going. So you need to take because this life now everything are just eventually it's still vanity. You get so you need to because there's no cure for mental illness. There's no cure. There's no cure at all at all. The only thing they can do is manage the person over time. There's no cure. So what we do is you really need to take your mental health serious. Like you really need to take it seriously. Your emotional strength, you really need to take it seriously. You need to see the right set of people once things are going you are not going your way. For example, now that depression of a thing is something that comes over time. You get that depression of it comes over time. So when you see that, okay, fine, there's an issue here, depression, you need to look for someone, you need to talk to someone because there's no medicinal care for these things you get. The medicinal care is just for management over time. You will not see them giving people this diazepam, bromazepam, and the rest. They are just for management. There's no cure for these things. So the best thing to do is to maintain the best mental health as possible. You just really need to make sure your mental health is stable. That is just it. Are you getting me?
Yes, sir. I got that. Okay, dear. I
I'm
wanted.
answered.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
So I was like thinking that what treatment before, but he said there's no cure for it. All right, what are the government now doing to help people?
There's no
Because
cure.
a lot of people are going through a lot. Is there any therapy for this, like, and be able to change the lifestyle?
In this
Governments providing
country,
anything?
in this country, no, in this country, no. There's nothing the government is doing. Even those ones that are roaming around the street, there's nothing because it's actually extremely expensive to treat mental health illness. The least you can spend a day in the mental health hospital is 100,000 naira. The least. So it's rich people that are actually treating these things. The poor ones are just roaming around like us. You get. We don't know who is mad, and you can be with someone for years and you don't know the person is mad. It is extremely possible. Even your spouse could have mental illnesses for years and you don't know. So you get so there's nothing the government is doing. Sorry to say, there's nothing the government is doing at all, at all, at all.
Okay, sir.
I've answered the question, man.
Exactly. So what if so okay, now that we all know that a lot of people are going through this thing. So how can we reduce like stigma around mental disorders people, people like stigmatize them so much. So how can we reduce this thing like and encourage open conversation? How do you think that can be done?
I feel okay. I feel the best thing to do is the government needs to take this thing to the media. The media needs to push it out there. The media needs to push it out there. The media needs to make people understand that they are not the only ones going through those things. You get, they are not the only one going through a divorce. They are not the only one that failed an exam. They are not the only one that had extra years. You get my point. They are not the only ones that are going through these things. They are not the only one going through the loss of jobs, etc. etc. You get so the media needs to go out and the government needs to go rather through the media, put these things out so that um they can know the signs symptoms of these things so that once someone begins to show a bit of because most of these things becomes mild first become before it becomes extreme you get it needs to first go through because the media is the only way that we can except if we decide to do I say create organizations for this thing but it's not forthcoming for now from the government. The government doesn't care about any of these things you get.
Thank you so much, sir.
Did I answer the question, man?
Yes, you did. I don't know if any other person has question to ask or any contribution before we end this call. Okay. In the absence of none, thanks so much everyone for joining. Thanks so much, Mr. Steven. If you have questions to ask, remember to ask on the group. Yes, we are open to questions anytime. Thank you so much, everybody.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for the opportunity.